Morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Please remember that Facebook does keep these shows online at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. I'm sorry, we upload the shows there. Facebook keeps these shows up on our page in perpetuity. It keeps them up for a while, actually. So you can go back and check them out at your leisure throughout the day. And you can go check out old shows there, or you can go to our website. Again, we appreciate you guys joining us this morning. I-12 is flowing with some minor delays at Millerville. So keep that in mind if you are heading westbound into Baton Rouge. I-12 eastbound looking pretty clear. Some minor on-ramp delays in Livingston Parish, but nothing too bad this morning. Forge Club Road, River Road, and 190 is flowing. A pretty normal traffic pattern this morning. 64 into Central is moving with heavy delays on Greenville Springs in there around some of those bus stops. Of course, you're looking at some heavy school delays already this morning. Live Oak High School with some heavy delays on Highway 16 out in front of the school. Some heavy delays in front of Denham Springs High School as well. Heavier delays on Burgess and 190 by Walker High with some traffic getting starting to stack up on Hatchell Lane because of Denham Springs High School and Denham Springs Junior High. So your pretty normal traffic patterns this morning. It's currently 74 degrees. Going to be cloudy this morning. Bye, George. Have a good day. Going to be cloudy this morning. Going to stay cloudy until roughly this afternoon. Like they say, I think they call it, good morning, Mr. Mike. Thanks for joining us. Like they say, the sun burns away the clouds, I guess you can say. It is going to get hot today. It's going to get up to about 90 degrees, maybe about 92, 93 with some heat index. But going to get colder as the week goes along, and listen to this temperature. 72 degrees is going to be your high on Friday, with 49 your overnight low. So it's slowly but steadily going to get colder as the week goes along, and of course, as we just said, Friday going to be pretty chilly, some pretty stellar fall weather. So prepare those gumbo pots again, because it is going to get colder. Hurricane Delta unfortunately struck Lake Charles. The area just cannot catch a break. Landfall was about 13 miles east of where Hurricane Laura came ashore, right there just south of Lake Charles. Lots of flooding this time. Much more heavy rain event for the Lake Charles area. But we here in Livingston Parish got quite a bit of wind, caused quite a bit of damage, including some interesting rescue missions early on in the wind, especially from the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office on Ben Fugler Road in the Watson area. They did have to pull a man from his home. Of course, you can read about Miss Dixon, who found an entire oak tree down in her front yard. Winds were high over the weekend, especially from Friday to Saturday, knocking out upwards of 15 to 20,000 customers in the Livingston Parish area. Some temporary outages, some not. And I know that most people use Saturday and Sunday having to clean up a lot of sticks. The wind was just pretty killer, especially from Friday to Saturday morning. Coyell Bay Bridge in between, Port Vincent and French Settlement was closed yesterday to try to string some temporary lines. Many people in South Livingston Parish still without power. Some of the temporary power did not quite reach all the areas, but it did get the towns back up and running. Going to be interesting to see how long those people are without power. A lot of that, it was almost coastal type wind coming in off Lake Maurepas. Of course, as we know, we are a coastal community, so that did cause some flooding in the south areas of the parish, due again to coastal rising waters. Also, there were some flooded roads in South Livingston Parish. Oh my goodness, excuse me, I'm sorry, that was my dog. Yes, hello. There were some roads flooded in South Livingston Parish due to those coastal winds and rising waters, storm surge, pushing water up onto the road. So, still dealing with that coastal community issue here in Livingston Parish. Lots of wind and rain, and some of that wind caused by, of course, I guess you can say, hurricane force coming off the Gulf. So I guess you can say coastal winds are exacerbated by those storm winds and made even worse. So we have to deal with that in Southern Livingston Parish, still dealing with that today. Getting into your COVID-19 statistics, 172,059 cases, 5,462 deaths on 2,486,340 tests. 157,873 have recovered on 563 hospitalizations. 71 total ventilators are being used. In Livingston Parish, 3,961 cases, 76 deaths on 42,839 tests. A staffer at the governor's office did test positive for the coronavirus, and 2 others are in quarantine. None of them have come into contact with the governor. So it's going to be interesting to see if we have a repeat of what happened at the White House and if things start to spread at the state capitol or not. But again, a governor staffer has tested positive with 2 others in quarantine. According to the report from the governor's office, none of them have come into contact with the governor. Locally, current Livingston Parish Mayor David McHugh has announced that he does have coronavirus and will stay in place in quarantine for at least 14 days. He is being treated via telehealth by his physician. He is feeling better, he says, on social media. Of course, this is kind of interesting because there is a large contentious race going on in the town of Livingston. McHugh is running for chief of police after stepping back and saying he's not going to run again as mayor. So it's going to be interesting to see how this affects things going forward. But we do hope that Mr. McHugh makes a speedy recovery and that the rest of those in the town of Livingston are able to remain healthy. Interest, according to a study, in domestic and international flight is increasing. It's a small sample size, but according to a survey that was provided by a flight app that kind of helps you manage flights and determine travel plans, said that 69% of their users said that sometime in the next 6 months they plan to fly internationally, and upwards of 80% said that sometime in the next 6 months they plan to fly domestically. It was a 4,000 person sample size, but the company did say that it is pretty, they are seeing those kinds of trends throughout the flight world as people slowly but steadily head back to the air, I guess you can say, hop on those planes and go places domestically. Of course, right now, a lot of international travel not occurring unless it is essential because there are different travel restrictions in different countries, the United States being one of those that is not allowed to travel into certain places, including Europe. So it's going to be interesting to see when those restrictions are lifted, how much increase you'll see in both domestic and international travel. According to this flight app, you'll see those increases anywhere from 70 to 80% sometime in the next 6 months. So we're going to see just how much that does increase. Of course, the airlines being one of the major industries that were hit by COVID-19, that still remains a point of contention among the new funds that are in the stimulus bill. That still being discussed. It doesn't look good for a second stimulus bill right now, at least anything before an election. So time will tell. Getting back into your traffic real quick, I-12 is flowing with some minor on-ramp delays. 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190 flowing as well. So kind of your normal traffic patterns this morning. Same with 64 into Central with some heavier delays on Greenville Springs. Of course, you're looking at your school traffic, especially in front of Live Oak High. Heavy on 16. It's currently 74 degrees, not 64. It'll be 64 later in the week. But today it is 74 degrees, 89 your high, roughly 90, 66 your overnight low. Looking at some morning clouds this morning, and then it's going to, as they like to say, the sun's going to burn away, and it's going to be a bright and sunshiny afternoon. But it will get colder as the week goes along. We did announce at the beginning of the show, you're looking at 72 degrees as a high on Friday with 49 an overnight low. So get those gumbo pots back out because it is going to start to get cooler. Going to see some more fall weather. Hopefully this time it stays around. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Want to remind folks we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get that in your mailbox. We're also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have a podcast page, which is free, a coronavirus page, which is free. And we also have a breaking news page, which is free as well. We do hope you guys have a great day. Please try to, I guess you can stay cool today. and try to stay warm as the week goes along. And we will see you tomorrow morning.